So we were down in Arizona. There's so many stories. I don't even know where to start. How was your flight back, by the way? We took separate flights.
Terrible.
What happened?
Well, first the plane, it changes gates, right?
Yeah.
And that's a giveaway. That's a bad sign.
It's a bad start.
It's a bad start. So then we don't get on the plane until, I want to say, 45 minutes after we were supposed to.
This is in Dallas.
Right. My layover in Dallas. And then we finally take off. And the pilot comes on and says, we're heading south. I'm thinking, what?
So you're trying to get to Massachusetts from Texas, but you guys are going south.
Yeah. And he's like, actually, southwest. And then he explains that there's some weather that they have to move around.
Right.
And that the flight will take, I don't know, a lot longer than it should.
Well, it's supposed to be about, 3.5 hours?
I think it was supposed to be 3.
Yeah.
And so that's just terrible. Of course, that stinks. Who wants to deal with that? And there's turbulence from this weather on the outside of what we're dodging. So the flight staff were told not to come out with their carts to give anyone anything to drink. And so I'm like dying of thirst.
Of course. Lewis has 3 to 4 drinks during this show, so you can imagine on a 3-hour flight what he needs.
I get dehydrated very easily.
Yeah.
And then finally they come around with the drinks. And of course I got stuck sitting next to a relatively large man.
Okay.
Very nice guy. Don't get me wrong.
Not large enough to warrant buying 2 seats, apparently, though.
No. But large enough to make it uncomfortable.
Okay.
And so when the drinks finally come around, I order a Sprite, and you know how they give it to you with a little glass of ice.
Yeah.
A little cup of ice on top of the can, and they hand it over, and I start reaching for it. But the guy next to me decides to, he'll just grab it and hand it off to me.
Being polite.
Even though my hand was only a few inches away. So he does that, but he doesn't grab the cup of ice on top.
Right.
And it goes flying into my lap. And there's ice cubes everywhere. I'm like sitting on them. Somehow the cup was half water too. So my shorts are soaked. And what are you going to do? Like, you can't get up and move. Like, I'm sitting on ice cubes. They're just like stuck there melting. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It took forever. We got in at 2:15 in the morning.
Yeah. I had the same thing. I mean, plane change and then gate change and then just a whole, avoiding weather, the same thing. I had on the smallest plane, I had a woman just openly coughing, not even making an effort to cover her cough. Just basically, she holding a magazine open and going, just like this, inches from me. And I did the half turn, the type of thing.
Right.
She didn't care. Then I did a full turn with eye rolling. She didn't care about that. And, by the time I was ready to say something, we had landed in Denver, so what have you. So, first of all, we rented a car there. The car had California plates, and we visited Tombstone, Tombstone, Arizona, middle of nowhere. And on the way back, we hit one of these Border Patrol checkpoints that they randomly have. So we stop and we talk to the guy, and he says to me, I was driving, of course. Lewis is driven around when he goes on trips. He doesn't drive at all. And he says to me, where are you guys coming from? And I say, from Tombstone. He says, where are you going? Tucson. And he says, are you guys from out of town? Because of the California plate. And I say, yeah, from Massachusetts. So the guy is putting 2 and 2 together. We're in this kind of beat up rental car, to be honest. The car was in pretty rough shape. California plates in Arizona, going from Tombstone to Tucson in the middle of the desert.
And we're from Massachusetts.
And we're from Massachusetts. So he asks me to pull over, and they want a dog to sniff around. And we allowed it to happen. Afterwards, we confirmed that, I really didn't have a choice. In other words, I was asked, do I mind if the dog sniffs around? As just a courtesy, but if I had said no, legally, I guess they could have done it anyway.
Right.
Because it wasn't a search of the inside of the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we were suspicious in Arizona. I don't know. And I didn't even have my papers with me. If I had my birth certificate, it would have been in Spanish. It would have been from Argentina. It was the short form, not the long form. I mean, it could have turned into an ugly situation, could it not?
I might have had to drive that car back to Tucson.